Welcome back, everyone, for another full card fight night prediction. Let's just jump in straight away. Juliana Miller and Ivana Petrovich. I'm probably going to go with Ivana Petrovich because Juliana Miller has been pretty inactive. Was her last win over Brogan Walker? Was that the opponent? Which was the tough final, and then she was declared the tough winner. I'm pretty sure that was her last fight. No, she lost to Luana Santos, which, it's okay. And then Veronica Macedo beat her, or Veronica Hardy. Yeah, and then it was Brogan Walker, but I'm gonna go with Ivana Petrovich here. Just a little more experience, honestly. I think that plays a factor here. Decision, I'll say. And then we have Thomas Peterson, Don'Tale Mayes. I don't know, man. This is honestly a coin flip. I wish I had a coin right now, but Don'Tale Mayes has shown ability to get taken down before. It's just as Thomas Peterson able to finish from those positions? I'm going to say no, but is he able to lay on Don'Tale Mayes and get his way to a decision? It's possible. If anybody's getting knocked out this fight, it's probably Peterson. I feel like Don'Tale Mayes carries a lot more power. Maybe it's a bit faster as well. So, I don't know. This is honestly a kind of tough one to predict, but I'm gonna say that Thomas Peterson mixes in the takedowns and is able to get in control. Moving on, we have Gaston Bolaños and Quang Lee. I'm gonna go with Gaston Bolaños here. He's shown some skill in his last fight with Cortavius Romeus. Before that, it was a loss to Marcus McGee, but Marcus McGee is very good. We know that. Quang Lee, I'm pretty sure his last fight was against Long Jiao, where he got caught. I forget what round it was in. It might have been the third. And before that, it was a classic Chris Gutierrez decision. And Chris Gutierrez beat Quang Lee. So, I'm going to say Gaston Bolaños probably outstrikes Quang Lee to a decision or potentially a TKO in later rounds. I like his kicks. They're not that fast, but I'm going with Bolaños. Then we have Marina Rodriguez and Jillian Robertson. I could see if you want to pick Marina Rodriguez. I'm probably going to go with Jillian Robertson because in all her fights, it's just she gets a takedown and she manages to get enough control time where she wins fights, and that's worked for her so far. Marina Rodriguez, she's been taken down in her last fights with Yasmin Lucindo. And before that, it was Jessica Andrade. So I think Jillian Robertson can probably get the takedowns and enough control, but it's a tough one. It's going to be a tougher one for her, so pretty close. I'm going with Jillian Robertson, though. Ryan Loder and Azamat Bakoyev. I'm going to go Azamat Bakoyev here. I know I picked Zachary Reese to beat him in 1 minute by knockout, but I get it was a stupid prediction. It was a pretty weird stoppage. It's like they could stop the fight and then no. Free back of the headshots from Bakoyev. Ref slams Zachary Reese onto the canvas, knocking him out cold. It is what it is. Ryan Loder, I feel like I'm going to say he's a little too reliant on wrestling. I feel like Bakoyev's going to shut that wrestling down and make it a mixed martial arts fight. And that's where he wins. So I'm going Bikoyev by decision, 30-27. And Yana Santos, Miesha Tate. Now, this might sound a little big shocker. I'm going with Miesha Tate, who I can't remember when her last fight was. It must have been years, or a year at least. And Yana Santos, I know she beat Chelsea Chandler, and at least she can beat Chelsea Chandler, who just lost to Jocelyn Edwards. That was a very bad loss. But I'm going to say Miesha Tate probably takes down Yana Santos to a decision. So, what more can I say? And then we have Jeremy Stevens and Mason Jones. Mason Jones is minus 575 in this fight, which that probably speaks to how this fight should go. I'm gonna say Mason Jones mixes it up. Jeremy Stevens, he's been boxing and at BKFC. He hasn't really been developing his wrestling or maintaining it in any way, so I'm gonna say Mason Jones probably gets this fight to the ground. But if he doesn't shoot takedowns and brawls with Stevens, it's a bit risky, so I'm still going with Mason Jones by, I'm gonna say maybe a decision or a TKO on the ground. Who knows, maybe a submission. Cameron Smotherman and Surrey City. Also, it's kind of like a coin flip here. I think I'm gonna say Cameron Smotherman wins because I'm gonna say he has a big advantage in this fight, which would be the cardio. And Surrey City kind of just lets it all out in the first round and he gasses. So I'm gonna say Cameron Smotherman probably wins as the fight goes on and maybe mixes in some takedowns, some body shots. That will really take the wind out of City's sails. I'm going to say Cameron Smotherman wins this fight by a decision or a finish in the third round, maybe. Alright, let's move on to the main card. I know we were already on the main card. Okay. Montel Jackson versus Daniel Marcos. I'm going Montel Jackson. I believe in him. I truly believe in Montel Jackson. Knocks out Damon Blackshear in 18 seconds. And Blackshear he's a good fighter. That's impressive to do. He just caught Blackshear right away and saw a hole. He took advantage of it. And he's going to have the height advantage in this fight. 5'10" to 5'7". He has a big reach advantage, 75.5 inches to 69. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Montel Jackson to win this fight. Daniel Marcos, I mean, he's made it look very close in some of his fights with Adrian Yanez and Davy Grant. I thought Davy Grant should have won that fight, but it is what it is. Marcos was undefeated, and he's still undefeated, so maybe if this goes to a close decision, Marcos could probably get it, but I'm going to say Montel Jackson probably finds a shot and hurts Marcos a couple of times, might get the knockout. So, yeah, I'm going with Montel Jackson here. That straight left, that 1-2 it's going to be money. And now we're at Santiago Ponzinibbio and Daniel Rodriguez. I'm going with Ponzinibbio here. I know D-Rod is a pretty tough guy. I just don't really see the same knockout ability as I once saw. Against Alex Morano, I know he won that fight. It was a very close one, to be honest. And Ponzinibbio, although the fight could have went longer against Carlston Harris because the ref was giving Ponzinibbio every chance to not get finished by Harris. But then when Ponzinibbio hurts him, they stop the fight. Well, not really, but could have went longer is what I'm trying to say. But Ponzinibbio, he still has power. The chin isn't that great, honestly. If you want to go with a D-Rod knockout, then feel free. But my advice is you go with a Ponzinibbio decision, probably by takedowns and leg kicks is what I'm going to say. Maybe lands some overhand rights. I'm going with Ponzinibbio by decision, though. And now, the co-main event, we have Reiner de Ridder and Bo Nickel. Man. Reiner de Ridder, the goofiness is one of his biggest advantages. Like, that is a huge strength from Reiner de Ridder. It's like, he looks awful, but he's still gonna finish you. Against Kevin Holland, I know he took him down immediately, out-grappled and subbed him in the first round, but we know Kevin Holland can be like that. And before that, it was a Meerschaert fight. That was, like, he fought like DDP in that fight, but it was, man, Meerschaert, he was landing some really good shots on RDR, though, so, like, I know RDR dropped him and then got a sub against a round 3 Meerschaert, which is an accomplishment, for sure. But Bo Nickel, I know Reiner de Ridder, it won't be like the Paul Craig fight where Paul Craig doesn't shoot on him. Bo Nickel also didn't shoot on Paul Craig, though, because I feel like he was just fearing the triangle. That shows some deficiency, honestly, in my eyes. But Reiner de Ridder, I feel like he will shoot on Bo Nickel. And will Bo Nickel shoot on him? I don't know. But where Bo Nickel can win this fight also is by TKO. I could just see him landing some overhand lefts. And I could see him putting out Reiner de Ridder, honestly. And if RDR shoots, I'm going to say Bo Nickel defends. But he could honestly get some reversals, and he might even sub Bo Nickel, but I'm gonna go with Bo Nickel. Yeah, I feel like he has a better chance to catch RDR, and he should be able to stuff the takedowns, and feel like he can keep a fight standing and find that TKO. He's also a minus 325 favorite, which is to be considered, so I'm going with Bo Nickel. Who knows, maybe Reiner de Ridder makes it goofy and gets a win. Now we're at the main event. Corey Sandhagen, Davison Figueiredo. First thing I gotta mention, Sandhagen is minus 500 in this fight, which is definitely interesting because I feel like we're just Sandhagen's gonna win. You know, if you don't have much to lose and you want to go with a Figgy knockout, then honestly you could. But I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm gonna go with Sandhagen by decision. Or honestly, maybe he gets a finish in this fight. I could see him frustrating Figueiredo, probably by just backpedaling. And maybe Figgy doesn't get his takedowns. I don't see them working in this fight, because Sandhagen was shutting down Umar Nurmagomedov's grappling in times. He was getting taken down as well, but there wasn't as much of a threat. It's just he kind of threw that fight away, which isn't a very good quality. But I'm sure it won't happen again. I hope not. If he wants to stay at the top, then I feel like he's going to be working to improve his game, fix those holes. So I'm going to say we see an evolution of Corey Sandhagen. The kicks are going to be nice. He's going to be in and out, going to be working on sprawling, and I could see his straight shots down the pipe working. So I'm going to go with Corey Sandhagen, either by a decision or maybe a TKO. In the later rounds, I could see when Figueiredo is swinging for fences, he's going for broken. Sandhagen catches him. So, yeah, I see those as possibilities. I'm going to go off Corey Sandhagen. Just a better chance, in my opinion. So, that's going to do it for this video. And thanks for watching. Bye.